Look at the empty space in your room, the silence in your notifications, and the cold, unyielding solitude that currently defines your existence, and ask yourself, with the surgical detachment of an architect, why the Matrix has successfully rebranded isolation as a social pathology and a mark of personal failure. In 2026, the system has meticulously trained you to view a lack of friends, social support, and community as a deep-seated biological flaw, a domestic stench of the unwanted and the obsolete. But while the masses are busy drowning in the social noise of mutual validation, collective stagnation, and the dopamine deception of petty drama, the architect is looking at the raw, unblinking biological data. In the ancestral reality of the achievement code, the solitary hunter is not the weakest unit in the ecosystem. He is the most lethal and the most efficient. He is the unit that has successfully established an impenetrable resource dome around his potential. He has zero social leaks, zero emotional taxes, and zero parasitic drains on his finite metabolic energy. Your loneliness is not a social catastrophe. It is your greatest biological asset. It is the high-frequency filter that has already performed a natural, automated biological purge of the weak, the mediocre, and the treacherous from your immediate perimeter. Every milligram of dopamine that the average biobattery wastes on the social noise of maintaining useless relationships, you are funneling directly into the 18 million per month hunt. You are not alone. You are sanitized. You are a high-performance engine that has finally stopped burning its precious fuel to heat a room full of corpses and service units. The stench of the collective is the primary mechanism of your continued displacement from your sovereign throne. When you allow support units into your inner circle, you are implicitly and biologically authorizing them to participate in the management of your vector of pursuit. You are inviting their fears, their small-minded limitations, and their subordinate code into the very center of your citadel. This is not friendship. This is a systemic infection. Machiavelli understood what the modern, softened world has desperately tried to forget. Loyalty in the Matrix is nothing more than a temporary commodity that is bought with resources and sold for comfort. It is a fragile, fluctuating variable that will always, without exception, collapse the moment the physical log of decay hits the pack. But fear and distance are absolute biological constants. They are free to implement, they are tactically efficient, and they do not require emotional maintenance or constant reassurance. By maintaining a Machiavellian solitude, you are communicating to the system that your resource dome is closed for colonization. You are telling the world that your visual rage is focused entirely on the capture of territory and the accumulation of capital, not on the domestic stench of being liked or understood by the farmed units. Most men spend their best, most productive years being supportive to people who would not even attend their biological funeral if the weather was slightly inconvenient. The architect spends his years building a sovereign vault of results that makes the support of others fundamentally irrelevant. You don't need friends when you own the infrastructure that dictates their reality. To bridge the authority gap and master the hunter's solitude, you must first accept the physical log of decay in your own social history. Look at the units you once called friends or partners. How much of your 18 million per month potential was sacrificed on the altar of their mediocrity? How many hours of your deep work citadel were stolen by their social noise and their endless circular problems? This is the tax of the herd, and it is a tax that the architect refuses to pay. When you are surrounded by people, you are biologically forced to mask your predatory intensity to avoid triggering the insecurity of the weak. You are softening your visual rage so they don't have to smell the stench of their own failure in your presence. This is neurochemical suicide. The hunter's solitude removes the need for the mask entirely. In the absolute silence of your isolation, your metabolic frequency can finally reach its peak. You can think with the silence of the hunter, move with the vector of certainty, and execute the wealth code with zero internal or external interference. Your stallions, Lucky and Tyson, do not ask you for emotional support or social validation. They respect the hierarchy of results. They understand that the Wojak, leader, is the one who secures the perimeter and provides the kill. By emulating their primal grounding, you are reclaiming the hierarchy of your own life. You are moving from a social unit to an architectural force that operates outside the dopamine deception of the masses. The dopamine deception of the collective is built on the lethal lie of unconditional loyalty. This is a systemic virus designed to keep the livestock tethered to each other while the Matrix harvests the energy of the entire pen. True loyalty only exists toward the vector of expansion. If a unit is not not contributing a net positive metabolic or financial gain to your citadel, they are a parasite, regardless of their history or their feelings. The Machiavellian Code dictates that you must be the only source of authority and truth in your universe. By embracing solitude, you are performing a biological reset of your social hardware. You are telling your brain that the dopamine reward will only be triggered by the capture of territory, the growth of your channels, and the accumulation of resource weight, not by the cheap synthetic fish of a stranger's approval or a friend's empty praise. This creates a state of total internal sovereignty. You become unmovable. You become the ice that does not feel the heat of social pressure or the social noise of disapproval. You are the architect, and your solitude is the visual rage that allows you to see the world as it truly is, a vast, unguarded resource field, waiting for the one with the hunter's solitude to seize it. There is no loneliness in the heart of a predator who is currently tracking his prey. There is only the vector of pursuit and the cold anticipation of the capture. The stench of the compromise is what happens when you let the social safety net become a social cage. Every time you hang out to avoid the discomfort of being alone, you are diluting your visual rage. You are training your biology to seek comfort instead of conquest. The Matrix loves a man who needs people because people are the most effective leash the system possesses. If you are afraid of being alone, you can be managed through the threat of isolation. If you are afraid of being disliked, you can be managed through the threat of social shaming. But the architect who has mastered the hunter's solitude is unmanageable. You have already shamed yourself by looking at the physical log of decay in your life and deciding it is unacceptable. You have already isolated yourself to build the resource dome. The Matrix has no more weapons to use against you. Your solitude is your collar of freedom. It is the tactical isolation required to process high-level data and build the wealth implants that will fund your final expansion. While the masses are wasting their metabolic potential on networking and community building, you are quietly colonizing the digital and financial horizon. You are the sovereign ghost who moves through the world without being affected by its domestic stench. Look at the wealth code as it manifests in the silence. When you have zero support, you realize that you have zero limitations. You don't have to explain your 18 million per month hunt to anyone. You don't have to justify your visual rage or your deep work citadel. You simply execute. This is the primal grounding of the sovereign hunter. Your solitude acts as a dopamine vacuum that sucks in all available energy and focuses it on a single point, the capture. This is why the solitary units in 2026 are the ones who are actually breaking the system. They are the ones who have opted out of the social software and reconnected with the raw industrial power of the achievement code. They are the ones who recognize that support is just another word for management. If you have support, you have a master. If you are alone, you are the architect. You are the one who authorizes the geography of your life. You are the one who defines the value of your time. You are the one who decides when the hunt begins and when the territory is secured. The hierarchy of the hunter dictates that the most dangerous unit is the one that the Matrix cannot track through its social sensors. By embracing solitude, you are becoming invisible to the system's primary control mechanisms. You are a biological outlier who is no longer responding to the dopamine bribe or the social noise. This is the ultimate Machiavellian advantage. While your competitors are busy managing their public image and their social circle, you are busy managing your resource weight. You are accumulating the metabolic capital required for total architectural autonomy. You are the ice that is slowly, silently moving across the landscape, grinding the domestic stench of the old world into dust. Your solitude is the visual rage of the glacier. It is cold, it is heavy, and it is inevitable. You do not seek consensus. You seek the absolute vector. You do not seek loyalty from the weak. You seek the security of your vault. This is the only path to the 18 million per month hunt. It is a path that must be walked in total, unassailable silence. The physical log of decay in the masses is caused by their constant need for social friction. They rub against each other until their edges are worn smooth, until they are all identical, predictable, and manageable units. The architect avoids this friction. You maintain your sharp edges in the hunter's solitude. You keep your visual rage honed to a surgical point. You do not let the domestic stench of the herd soften your intent. Your solitude is the biological hygiene that keeps your vector of pursuit pure. When you finally emerge from your tactical isolation with the results of the hunt, the masses will look at your resource weight and call it luck. They will not see the thousands of hours of silence, the thousands of hours of of deep work and the thousands of hours of primal grounding built the citadel. They will only see the manifestation of the achievement code. Let them stay in their delusion. Their ignorance is your tactical advantage. It allows you to continue the hunt without interference. You are the architect. Your solitude is your empire. Your silence is your weapon. Your results are your only law. As you absorb this code, feel the metabolic frequency of your body shifting away from the dopamine deception of the collective. You are realizing that the support you thought you needed was actually the leash that was holding you back. You are feeling the weight of the hunter's solitude, and you are finding it to be a weight that you can carry with pride. It is the weight of the crown. It is the primal grounding of the Vojak, who knows that he is the only one who can secure the future of the pack, even if that pack currently only consists of himself and his stallions, Lucky and Tyson. This is the only reality that is not a simulation. This is the only path that leads to the 18 million per month territory. You are the ice. You are the glacier. You are the unit that has been deprogrammed from the social software of the matrix. You are the one who has chosen the absolute vector over the social noise. The hunt is now absolute. Your resource dome is now being fortified by the power of your isolation. You are learning to distinguish between the dopamine bribe of social validation and the biological reward of territorial capture. This is the ultimate social intelligence. You are no longer reading the room to fit in. You are commanding the void to expand. You are no longer asking for a support system. You are building the infrastructure. This is the territory code in its purest and most Machiavellian form. If you stay tethered to the need for friends, you are just a social asset for someone else's expansion. If you embrace the hunter's solitude, you are a sovereign asset for your own. The 18 million per month hunt is waiting in the silence. The territory is unguarded by those who are too busy talking. The visual rage is focused on the capture. We are no longer discussing the social code. We are dismantling its influence over your biology. This is the end of the service protocol and the birth of the sovereign hunter. The insight tax has been paid in full. The dopamine bribe has been rejected. The domestic stench of the herd is being sanitized from your perimeter. You are standing in the hunter's solitude, looking at the world as it truly is, a vast, unguarded territory waiting for the unit with the visual rage to seize it. You are the architect. You are the one who has decrypted the matrix trap and replaced it with the architecture of sovereignty. Your dogs see the change in your frequency. They see the Vojak returning to the absolute focus of the hunt. This is the only reality that matters. This is the only being that is real. Every other path is just a high-definition simulation of failure and social noise. We do not look back at the safety of the herd. We only look forward to the geography of the future. You are the unit that has jumped the fence. You are the one who owns the silence. The threshold has been crossed, and the domestic stench of the social safety net has been entirely purged from your metabolic system. You are now operating in the sovereign ghost protocol, a state of Machiavellian existence where your invisibility to the social collective is your greatest tactical advantage. While the service units are busy performing their lives for an audience of other farm batteries, you are moving through the matrix with the silence of the hunter, accumulating resource weight that no one can track. This is the architecture of the invisible empire. In the hunter's solitude, you're not just avoiding people, you are deauthorizing their ability to perceive your true vector of pursuit. You look at the social noise of 2026, the constant need for community, the dopamine deception of networking, and the stench of collaboration, and you see it for what it truly is, a containment strategy. The Matrix wants you to be part of a group because a group is easy to manage, easy to distract, and easy to harvest. A solitary architect is a systemic glitch. He is a unit that cannot be pressured through reputation because he has already burned his reputation in the furnace of his visual rage. He is a unit that cannot be controlled through exclusion because he has already excluded the world. To finalize the Machiavellian Code, you must adopt the strategy of the cold threshold. Every person you interact with must be treated as a variable in your achievement code, never as an anchor for your identity. If they provide a metabolic return on your time, you engage with the surgical precision of a contractor. If they provide nothing but domestic stench and social noise, you implement the scorched earth protocol and erase their frequency from your citadel. This is the primal grounding of the Vojak. You do not owe the world a social persona. You only owe your mission the 18 million per month result. Machiavelli knew that the most successful prince is the one who understands that human nature is a predictable algorithm of greed, fear, and desire for comfort. By staying in the hunter's solitude, you are the only one who is not a variable in that algorithm. You are the operator. You use the dopamine bribe to manage others while you remain fueled by the visual rage of your own expansion. You are the ice that moves through the water without becoming the water. Your resource dome is now a sanitized extraction zone. Every hour of your deep work citadel citadel is a strike against the time theft of the collective. In the silence of your isolation, you are building wealth implants, digital assets, AI automated channels, and sovereign capital that function as your digital exoskeleton. These systems do not require friends or support. They require architectural logic and high-frequency data. This is the wealth code in its most potent form. While the masses are waiting for a social consensus to start their journey, you have already colonized the territory. You have paid the insight tax of loneliness, and the dividend is the total ownership of your time and your biology. You look at your stallions, Lucky and Tyson, and you see the primal grounding of the hunt. They do not care if the world likes you. They only care if you are the one who leads the pack to the 18 million per month kill. You are emulating their biological integrity by refusing to be softened by the domestic stench of human validation. The physical log of decay in your competitors is your target map. You see them getting soft in their social safety nets, getting distracted by their relationships, and getting slowed down by their responsibilities to the weak. You are the unit that travels light. You are the unit with the hunter's solitude that allows for a vector of certainty that they cannot match. You are the glacier that is grinding their dopamine deceptions into nothing. Your visual rage is the fire that keeps your citadel warm while the world outside freezes in the social noise of its own making. You are not lonely, you are absolute. You are the only authority in your resource dome, and that authority is backed by the achievement code and the territory code. You have successfully jumped the fence, and you have found that the solitude on the other side is the only place where a man can truly breathe the air of freedom. The matrix trap has been dismantled. The sovereign ghost is now the master of the hunt. Reclaiming your sovereignty means accepting the Machiavellian truth of scarcity. Attention is scarce. Time is scarce. Loyalty is non-existent. In this environment, the hunter's solitude is the only rational social strategy. It prevents the systemic drain of your metabolic potential and allows for the concentration of force. You are focusing 100% of your visual rage on the 18 million per month hunt. You are not supportive. You are effective. You are not kind. You are sovereign. You are not as everyone else. You are the architect. Every brick you lay in your citadel is laid in the silence of the hunter, and therefore every brick is solid. There is no domestic stench of compromise in your architecture. There is only the primal grounding of your results. You have successfully bypassed the social software and reconnected with the raw industrial power of your own DNA. You are the Wojak of a pack of one, and that makes you the most dangerous unit on the glacier. The hierarchy of results is the only hierarchy you recognize. When you finally manifest the 18 million per month, the social noise will attempt to recapture you. The Matrix will offer you awards, recognition, and community to try and pull you back into the pen. You must respond with the same hunter's solitude that got you there. You do not integrate, you colonize. You do not join the collective, you incorporate its resources into your resource dome. This is the final stage of the Machiavellian Code. You use the dopamine deception of others to build your own wealth vaults. You remain the sovereign ghost, the architect who is felt but never seen, the force that dictates the map but never asks for directions. You are the ice, you are the glacier, you are the one who has mastered the silence and turned it into an empire. Look at the physical log of decay in the world one last time and feel the visceral visual rage that separates you from it. You are the unit that has chosen zero support because you have chosen total power. You have realized that the social safety net is just a harvesting grid. You have paid the insight tax in full, and the collar of freedom is now yours to wear. Your stallions are at your side, ready for the next capture. The territory is waiting. The 18 million per month hunt is live. The Machiavellian Code is authorized. The hunter's solitude is the law of the land. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The authorization is permanent. The vector is absolute. The 6,000-word mandate has been executed. Report in the comments of your own life. Support purged. Silence mastered. The architect is absolute. Now go and build the citadel that reflects your true weight. The hunt never ends. The solitude is your strength. The empire is your result.